record, Jennifer. Oh,
You. All right. This is the December Grit virtual workshop, and we have Alicia who's going to be talking about AI. And I'm going to go ahead and mute so she can introduce herself and get started.
hi, welcome everyone. So excited to join you today. I'm so excited to be part of this Grit community as I'm getting to learn and meet Jennifer and so many of you other incredible women out there. I'm excited today to really just spend some time with you, really much like partnering with you on AI. Like, how can we make it relevant to us? What are some ways we can use it from a professional standpoint, but also very much as a personal standpoint? This is designed to be incredibly interactive. So feel free to stop me, feel free to ask questions, or if you have used it in a different way that you think is relevant to the group, please weigh in. I want this to be a group think session. We all learn together. So this is intended to inspire everyone. I call it bridging curiosity to competence, one prompt at a time. I think one of the big wins in AI is that if we can remain curious and just ask questions, it helps us build our confidence. There's so many things. I led a 4-hour training yesterday on Microsoft Copilot for a company and walking them through how they could use Copilot. And the biggest takeaway is whenever we didn't know an answer or a response, I'm like, just ask the AI. You have to fact check everything. But so many people are like, well, I never would have stopped. I would have thought, hey, how do I do this? And moved on, not even tried to ask it. But yeah, if I can just ask in 30 seconds from how do I fix my broken washing machine to my kids had a snow day and I need to get some work done. What are some ideas for my kids of this age to keep themselves entertained, right? Like just things that normally we would move quickly past. My hope today is to inspire us to really be curious and kind of build that confidence in so many other areas and skill sets. So with that said, a little bit about me. I'm a busy mom of 3 girls. I'm a corporate HR leader. I spent about 20 years in corporate HR, turned into entrepreneurship in the last 12 to 18 months or so. My husband and I now own and coffee roastery. We focus on barrel aging our beans, so our coffee will pick up the underlying nodes of the spirit, but not be alcoholic. We have short-term rentals. I'm an instructor, consultant, and facilitator as well for HR as well as AI. Most recently, in this past year, AI has kind of become really what I'm running with. I'm an active community builder from different philanthropies to sitting on our chamber board in town to being on my kids' school board. So I will share today how I've used AI in many of those as well to help even on the philanthropic side. I want to be very clear. I'm not a techie and I'm not a coder. So I don't come to this from an IT background. I do know some basic coding, but this isn't intended to be what is AI? How does it work? How is it built? It's really meant to be how is AI relevant? What can I do with the time that I'm saving using AI? So that's kind of really the lens I bring to this. There was a fantastic group presentation a few months ago that was done on what AI is, and I highly recommend going back to that one. But for me today, the real focus is just making it relevant in our professional and personal worlds. I can honestly say AI became my co-pilot in the last year. I use it as my digital assistant to plan my weeks, to plan my dinners, to help me research stuff for my coffee company, for our rentals when I'm thinking through how to market them, you name it. So happy to share a lot of those wins along the way. So why we're here today. You don't have to be a tech expert to start using AI, just curious. And I really want that to be the framework we start from today. You don't need to know tech. If you can put ChatGPT on your computer and go to the or Copilot website or Gemini, I'm focused on ChatGPT today, but can speak to all of those. That's the beginning point. And just being curious and open, like, what can it do? You can even ask it, what can you do for me? I'm a busy such and such entrepreneur. I'm a mom or I'm a grandma. I'm a new grandma. What are some ideas from like you did your kid's baby shower? Like just being curious. It's fun to start to expand into this space. And also recognizing AI is not about replacing our gifts. It's about reclaiming our time. We all are uniquely gifted. We have so many gifts that as members of the Grit community, we wear lots of hats and so many people want our gifts and our time. It'd be nice to know how can I reclaim some of that time? How can I leverage AI to optimize so that I can continue to pour forth into my community? And really, it's about gaining confidence and continuous learning. I'm big on continuous learning. One of my top 5 strengths in Gallup is being a learner. So to me, that's one of my favorite pieces of AI is I feel like I'm continuously learning, but I don't have to feel dumb. I can ask it any question I want to ask, even if it's silly and stupid. And I'm continuously learning without having to fear kind of like, oh, I don't want to ask that question. That might make me not appear like the expert I want to appear like. So again, hopefully you can gain some of that today as we launch into this material. And stop me as I go. As I, again, once we get into this deeply, if there's things you want to ask about, if you want to pause and go live into an environment, let me know. I'm happy to do that. I'll do a quick level set what AI is. It's a software that learns from data and helps you do things faster and more easily. That's really what it is. It is data driven. Humans have had to input the information that goes into the AI software. Therefore, it is fallible. It is not always perfect, but it is helpful and it can help us do things much more quickly. For those who don't use AI a lot, it's already kind of built so much into what we use and don't even realize it's in the Google Maps, it's in autocorrect, it's in even in Google now at the top. If you Google something, the summary at the very top is an AI generated summary. So instead of going and searching a bunch of websites, it gives you that paragraph at the top. Netflix uses it for the suggestions on what you might want to watch next on Netflix. Any of your shopping websites use AI to understand, hey, what have you bought on Stitch Fix before? And based on your preferences, how do I recommend more for you? I mean, it's embedded. If you use Square, Shopify, any of these e-commerce platforms, all of that has AI underpinnings in it and being developed as we speak. So want you guys to reflect, don't have to call it out here. But if you think to yourself, how often do you use AI tools? Any of them. I mean, there's also Bard and there's Claude. I wrote Copilot, ChatGPT, or Gemini on the screen. But just think to yourself, like one has never used it, kind of nervous to try it, all the way up to 5, use it every day, very confident with various applications. This is kind of personal reflection, not necessarily like a poll or anything like that. Does anybody want to claim daily? Is there a daily user on the call that would like
I
raise
would
their
say pretty regularly, if not, I would say, if not like 6 days a week, I probably take the weekends off.
perfect? Excellent. A little bit on what GPT is. So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Generative means it creates. It creates things like texts and ideas and summaries. The key thing to remember about generative means that each time you prompt it, it will generate a new response. You could give it the exact same prompt literally 5 seconds after you type it in, and your response will be slightly different because it generates each time. The gotcha there is if you find something and you like the response or you like the graphic or the image or the file it created for you, save it out of ChatGPT or save it out of whatever that AI is, Gemini, because it's not a long-term storage vehicle. And if you try and sometimes go back to that image or you go back to that file, it may have disappeared and then it'll say, I'll recreate it for you. And it will, but it might be slightly different. So just kind of a call out gotcha on if you really like something it created, save it into some other form of storage device. Pre-trained means, so that's the P, it's already learned from a huge amount of information. So you'll hear a lot of talk on AI about potential bias because it's been pre-trained with the information out there. So if the information out there has bias in it, just inherently based on our world and our culture, that GPT also is going to have some level of bias. So it's something to be aware of. If the GPT was told that every face that it sees is a purple square and somebody with a red triangle is trying to understand the world around them or ask a question, the GPT will be biased to what they think the world looks like. So it's helpful just to know that there is sometimes inherent bias, not intentional per se, but it's what it was trained on. And then transformer is just a really fancy term saying that it helps us understand and respond to language in the tool. So really what that means for you and I is it's a really smart assistant that's been trained on a lot of information so it can help you write, plan, brainstorm, simplify things, and specifically in natural conversation. I was talking to a mom friend who said it best. She's like, it's like I can speak to my GPT like girl directions. So she's like, I was talking to my husband the other day. I was trying to remember the name of this football player. And I gave him 7 different things. Like he played, I don't know, 20 years ago. He had a cute face. He had whatever. And her husband's like, there's no way I could ever in a million years know who you're talking about. And so she put it in her GPT. And like within 5 seconds, it's like, oh, so-and-so from this team. And her husband was just floored. It's like, I don't understand how it understood from your limited directions how to get to that response. But it's because it's also so well trained in our natural language that it does respond in a way that feels more natural. ChatGPT currently still leads in natural language, meaning that if you wanted to sound the most like a human, and in studies, it has still outshone the other GPTs on, sometimes people don't know it's an AI. So I'm not recommending you use AI for everything or that it replace you, but just letting you know it's coming a very long way to sounding very human, very personable, very much if I need to respond to a rough or harsh email, I can maybe start with my GPT to take it down an emotional tone and then maybe nuance it a little bit. With AI, I think one of the key takeaways too is that your mindset matters. If you view it as a co-pilot and a tool and that you are the driver, that's really what matters the most. Is you're the driver. You're the one who pulls up the tool. You're the one that uses the tool. You're the one that defines where it goes, how it looks, where you put it in a presentation, how you tee it up to management if you're using it for some type of business case. It's just a tool and you're the driver. So if you can think from curiosity mindset, what could this help me do? How can this help me save time? You can even ask it. I'm on a 35-minute drive. I'm going to be hands-free. What can I do or what can I help draft while I'm driving so that when I get to my destination, there are 3 emails prepped and ready for me that I just have to copy and paste out. There's tools to help you make that super fluent, but for now, just that starting point, you can ask it. Or, hey, I've uploaded my top 10 tasks that are on my list for the next week. Can you help me think through the best progression to get through these tasks based on, and as it works with you more, it's going to start to understand. Like for me, it'll know, oh, okay, is she working on her coffee thing right now? Is she helping her husband with her arcade? And it started to get to know my style and be like, okay, well, based on what I know about your coffee company, if we're going to be doing this, that might take an hour. You should start there. But again, you can leverage that experimentation. Just try it. Take pictures of basically anything. I've had people take pictures of, I was home with my family last week and my brother's an artist and sculpts. And he took a picture of one of his sculptures and asked the GPT, hey, what do you think this is worth? If I were to market this on eBay or one of those other tools, what is this sculpture potentially worth? And it walked it through like, based on this, here's what I'd recommend. It's up to him as the driver if he wants to use that information. And then my mom was having fun with it. She's like, well, I bought this antique at an antique mall. I wonder what it's worth. So she took a picture of the front of the vase and looked at the bottom of it. And it came back with, this is a such and such from this probably era. So again, it was just nobody else. Normally we wouldn't have taken a picture of that, but I can have it on my phone and just snap a photo. And it just allows us to experiment in a new way. I like to focus on fluency over mastery and progress over perfection. Always in everything I do, but specifically with AI, I don't think there's anyone who can ever master it. There are going to be AIs for everything, and you're not necessarily going to be an expert at all of them or any one of them. But if you can just be fluent, and fluency means how does it work for you? Not how does it work for Alicia, not how does it work for somebody else, but how can I make this work for me? How can I be fluent in the tool that's best for me? Which gives me that progress. I'm just focused on progress. It won't be perfect, and what it gives me might not be perfect. It's going to still be maybe 85 to 90%. But it's progress. And each time I learn to use it in a new way to save myself some time, parent differently, get ideas for a birthday party. It's that experimentation, it's that progress that we're taking. And I think this so well aligns with grit too. It's just resilience. If the first time you prompt it, it isn't right, adjust the prompt. It's not wrong. You don't have to be upset. You could ask it 9 times. Nope, that wasn't quite right. Hey, change this. Oh, I want the tone like that. Oh, I would like the graphic to be a little brighter. So again, it's that resilience of just, if it's not right, iterate, iterate, iterate. And eventually you will be able to save that time and get to the next step. I get a lot of questions on the difference between free versus paid ChatGPT. So this will be a reference for you guys. I won't read every page or piece of this slide, but just know free ChatGPT, it's great. It's great for beginners, casual use, simple tasks. It can do some basic light reasoning. You can ask it everyday questions, emails. I've had people, one person who wanted to send a pretty emotionally charged text message to something she received from somebody, and she paused, she copied it, she put it into ChatGPT. ChatGPT took the tone to a much more reasonable level, and that was the text she sent. So that's very easy, all doable in the free version of the tool, and it's free. It's a great place to start. If you think you're going to use it more, the most recent version out there is 5.1. That's what it's currently running on. It is faster. It has higher accuracy. It will remember things that you put in different threads and streams and be able to remember that and recall like, oh, that wasn't part of this thread. That was a different thread that you brought that up in, but here, I'm going to remember that for you and pull that forward into this thread. So it's much better about that. You can pick different modes as well. Like I could go into research mode, and something that normally it would have returned a response within, I don't know, 10 seconds. Research mode, it might take 45 seconds, but it's going to show me the 19 websites that it was going to as it was researching whatever my question was. So now I can get really hyper specific on where did my data sources come from? And I can prompt it to say, I only want you to use these types of survey sources from this type of industry that are published and recognized within the industry. So I can be really specific in how I prompt it. It easily handles long documents. So our chamber board, we're getting ready to run a capital campaign, and we did a feasibility study. It was a 67-page result that came back. I uploaded it. I got permission to upload it because it is ChatGPT. It is not what you upload is now out there in public domain. So that's also another call out. This isn't private. It's not ring fenced to you. Be cautious what you put in there because that is your choice and it's now publicly available. But it came back within, and I said to it, I just want a 2-paragraph summary of the highlights of this and bullet point for me the top 7 things that I should take away from it. And it did it in like 1 minute. And so I was like, okay, great. Now I can still read the 67-page report, or I can look at these bullet points and I can go to that part of the document and make sure I'm familiar with it. So I'm ready to go into my next board meeting. So that saved me a lot of time. Again, should still read the 67-page report, not saying I shouldn't, but if I'm being respectful and cognizant of how all of us run and how fast we run, we don't always have that time. So it just took that summary off my plate and made me feel a lot more confident walking into the meeting. It's actually, I think, close to $30 a month now. That's, I might be a little off. But again, for the time savings, you can decide if you think that's right for you. So quick reflection question, and you can think about this, and then if somebody wants to share, they can do it. I'm not going to do a chat or call because it's a pretty small group here, but if you had a digital assistant for 30 minutes a day, digital assistant, what would you ask it to do? So that's first reflection question. So if you had one for 30 minutes a day, what would you ask it to do?
I mean, well, I'm curious on two things. I'm thinking, what do I spend a lot of my own personal time trying to do, like after hours, and organizing pictures, of all the pictures I've taken over the years. And I used to start out on scrapbooks, and now I'm trying to figure out how to get it all into the cloud in an organized way. So I'm curious if if you've ever tried that. And also, I'm also thinking about evaluating a website to what the takeaways are from a website. And can you put a website into ChatGPT and have it give you feedback?
Yeah, so 2 great questions. First, I love your question. I haven't tried to do that yet, but I would literally go to my ChatGPT and say, I am trying to organize 5,000 photos from the last 9 years. Is there a tool? Is ChatGPT the right tool? Or is there a tool out there that can help me better leverage this? I would honestly just ask the AI. It could do it, but I haven't done that. So I don't want to say that I have. But you've inspired me because after this call, I'm actually going to go look that up for myself because I feel like that's the world I live in. And I keep thinking someday I'm going to get around to this. And someday I'm going to have these great books. And someday hasn't come. I'm about 5 or 6 years behind. So I love that. And then your second question, absolutely. The free version, it's limited to what it can do. But the paid version, you can say, basically go to this website, either give me the top summaries, evaluate it for me. What's working for this website? What is the target market going to take away from this website? If you personally have a website, you can put your own personal website in there and say, evaluate this for me. And it'll go so far as to say, because I've done this, your hero shot is okay, but it could be better. And here's the ways it could be better. And if I were you, I would put less text on the screen. Your graphics are, could be different colors, right? So you can absolutely use it to evaluate it, your own stuff, your competitors' stuff. But generally that's paid version. So I haven't tried it on the free. That's my caveat on that one. But definitely, I would highly encourage it. And you can use it for competitive research. You can say, these are like my 10 competitors in this space and help me understand what are their differentiating factors. And then if you give enough information about your product, you can say what differentiates my product from theirs or my services from theirs, and where should I highlight? What should I highlight based on my personal product, service, gift ability compared to that of my competitors? It's really good about that. And it's it's obviously trained AI, so I can't say it's entirely unbiased, but it's a less subjective opinion than you get from like your best friend or somebody on your board of directors, let's say, that has an opinion. It's kind of like, yep, this is just how an AI looks at that particular website or set of websites. Next question. What would you do if you could gain that 30 minutes back a day? So if you were able to outsource to a digital assistant 30 minutes, heck, even 5 minutes a day, if it could save you 3 emails, what would you do with that time back? Again, that's kind of reflection, but feel free to share because the point of AI is to leverage it so that we get the time back to either pay it forward, spend with our family, Anybody want to share that if they could get 30 minutes back a day, what would they do with their newfound time?
I just keep working.
That sounds right. Karen, were you going to say something? Oh, you're here. Yeah,
I was going to say I'd just go to the next thing on my checklist.
exactly.
My issue is, and this is so helpful for me, is that I just don't even think of the things that I can be using it for. I mean, I use it a lot when I'm preparing presentations. I'm in the financial industry, so we can only use Copilot. I do use ChatGPT at home. In fact, my husband won't even listen to anything I say at this point unless I run it through ChatGPT. Like I said, oh, I'm going to text the kids, an invitation to come over Saturday. And he's like, well, did you ask Chat? And I said, I'm capable of putting a text together to the kids. And he's like, well, just run it through Chat. So, I mean, he's so dependent on it, which is kind of scary. But like I said, it's helpful for me to hear like how you use it in an everyday, because I really use it for work stuff, Copilot, but it just doesn't even dawn on me to use it for things I just don't even think about.
And this is where we're going to really get to that point. So I did, like I said, a 4-hour Copilot training yesterday, and I had to keep myself in like Copilot headspace, which is obviously very professional. It's like we had bankers in the room. So to your point, highly regulated industry, what they can and can't share. So, but even just the personal usage where it was people saying, well, I don't necessarily use Copilot for this, but at home I use ChatGPT.
Yeah, Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful.
No, tomorrow's Friday. Today.
Okay, so this is where we're going to make it fun then. So this is where it really gets to the time saving piece of it. I was going to try and show this live, but I want to be respectful of time. So I'm not going to do this for you guys, but you can definitely do it. These are not my notes. I asked ChatGPT to generate an image for me of messy notes, but I could take a picture of this with my ChatGPT or even honestly my Copilot AI, and it will clean it up for me. It'll give me a summary and it will show me bullet points. So I didn't write this. I don't even know what this says, to be very honest. It's so messy, but I wanted people to see this visual. And like I said, if I had more time, like I did yesterday in my presentation, I showed people live. Like I literally took a picture of it, and then on my screen, I showed what Copilot would say to that. So I can give a personal example. I was, for the chamber board, I was supposed to interview our library. And I got there and I didn't have my normal, I have like a remarkable notebook, but I had my notebook with me. I literally had a random scratch piece of paper in my purse. And so I dug for a pen, I dug out my piece of paper, I jotted all these notes down. And as I left, I took a picture of it. And it took my handwriting into digital text. It gave me a beautiful summary of what I'd written. And then I said, okay, please craft this into an email I can send to our chamber director of the key takeaways of why people should use our local library. And it had that all done. I mean, within minutes. It would have taken me the time to look at my notes, type my notes, think about how I want to summarize it. And Karen, I want to speak to your husband and what you said. There are times where I do wonder, I'm like, I can still do these things. Like, it's important for me to still be able to do this without AI. But also, man, I just bought myself a good 30, 45 minutes back by taking one picture of my notes, asking it to summarize it. I still tweak the email and I nuanced it to be like, hope your day's going well. How's your kids? Like my typical style. But it saved a lot of time, which allowed me, like you guys, to go right to the next thing on my task list. So anyway, like I said, I'm not doing this one live, but just know that that's one takeaway. You can use, I put Copilot on my phone as well as ChatGPT, so it makes it easier for me to take pictures of things like this. Okay, don't know the exact generation of everybody, but depending on when you were born, there was a show called Jim and the Holograms. And Synergy was this computer she had in her closet that would help her figure out what to wear and what it could look like. And this is an early 80s cartoon, right? So it's going back 40 some years. But in it, she would always ask like the computer, like, what should I wear today? Or this is my look. Well, I had the blessing to go with my mom and sister, and we did a styling where they tell you kind of your personal style and colors. I have now turned ChatGPT into my fashion assistant. I will be the first to tell you that is not the world I live in. I don't see the world this way like some women do. So it has been such a help to me because I prompt it. Like I know my style is classic ingenue and I know my colors are this. And then I upload images of my clothing, my shoes, my accessories. it remembered as I started to upload these things that would be like, oh, that skirt you had there, that would look phenomenal with this other blue top. And then if you pop it with a silver pendant. So this is chat literally walking me through an outfit that personally I wouldn't have done. I mean, it said, here's your colors, but you can make it brighter if you do this. Or if you're going to go out in that and you want to make it more professional, you should wear these type of taupe booty, like boots. But if you're going to just be casual, I mean, I didn't ask it to tell me these things. It just started to prompt me based on like one picture. And then it would ask me, like, do you want me to create a capsule wardrobe off this piece of off this piece of clothing? And if you do, then it'll create, hey, okay, based on what you've uploaded so far, these 4 shirts, these 3 skirts, this is your capsule wardrobe, and here's the shoes. It helped me with what to donate because I am not the best at letting go of things. And I sometimes need help to like have someone be like, I'm sorry, that's worn and nubby and you may love it, but it's time to go. And so I'd just take a picture and it'd be like, that one's time to donate. Or they'd be like, hey, if this is hard for you, just set it to the side of your closet, flip the hanger the other way. And in a year, if you haven't worn it. I mean, it was just, I'm trying to make this presentation like fun and relevant. So again, we'll get into some of the professional, but this is very much a way that you can snap a picture. I did it for fun before I went to church on Sunday morning. I snapped a picture of my outfit. I'm like, what necklace would make this pop or whatever? And it gave me suggestions. So to give you an example, I took a picture of this skirt and just said, I'm a classic ingenue with summer colors. How would this skirt align with some additional styling suggestions? So that was my prompt. And this is what it came back to me. Oh, this is a great skirt, incredibly useful for you. I don't have all this on the screen and there's not time for it today, but it went from color category to what you could wear it with, what it does not recommend wearing it with, how to make it more casual, how to make it more professional. So again, this is just a fun thing to do like tonight or when you get home, or if this is something you want to experiment, take a picture of a jean jacket. What can I wear this with, right? But anyway, that is one way that you can personally use it. Yes, Karen.
Is this on the free version or the paid version? Okay.
You can do some, it just can't do as much and it doesn't remember as much. So free will respond to you, but it won't necessarily remember as well. Oh, hey, you also uploaded a picture of a blue shirt like 4 images ago. That blue shirt would look phenomenal with this skirt. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you know a lot about the cost of the paid?
I think
Because I had ChatGPT and then I moved to the paid version and I was using the version that like my 2 assistants could each have their own channel and then we could have the shared. Well, now we don't need that because we use Copilot. So I went to cancel it and I realized that I was getting a $20 monthly charge and a $90 monthly charge. But I don't know where to go back to cancel and why I knew how to cancel, but I'm like, I don't know why I was having 2 monthly charges.
That's interesting. The only thing I can say is, so at one point in time, I launched the professional version of it because I was starting to help clients use ChatGPT and I wanted to have a space that we could use together.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, you have to pay per seat. And the minimum it would let you do is 2 additional seats on top of your own, which is roughly $30 a month. So times 3. So that would have been possibly the 90. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna look at that.
It is now $29.99 a month. I want to say it's $30, but I did go through that and I had to cancel it as well because I'm like, oh, I'm not holding these seats. And you're right, Copilot has that ability. Chat just launched it in the last month. It gave you the ability that you can share a conversation stream with somebody else and only that conversation stream, so that real time you can go back and forth on this conversation stream. That's brand new, literally within the last 30 days in chat. But Copilot has it natively.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, for a fashion assistant, again, you can ask it to create a capsule wardrobe. Let's say you're getting ready to go on a cruise. And if you've uploaded some of your images, you can say, hey, what is the best pieces for this particular cruise? Because I'm going to go for this many days and it's this climate and it's this country or whatever it is. Again, it helps with shoes. So it's just kind of fun. I actually use it then too. My next question was, how do I organize my closet? Some people, again, some women have this amazing ability to do that. It's not one of my like unique gifts. So it told me like, start on the outside left. This is what should be on the left. Go in this color scheme. It would even say, put your beige blouse next to your cream blouse, next to your pink. And it just gave me my rundown, even with my own clothes, of like how to organize my closet. So it's kind of a fun way you can use it. You can use AI as your sous chef. So anybody, Julia Childs, right? Classic French cooking. You can use it if you're making a recipe and you just don't have, this is a joke, but like cognac and shallots and a copper pot like Julia would have. it will tell you, well, here's what you can use instead of cognac. Here's what you can use instead of shallots. And if you don't have a copper pot, here's what you can use. So it gives you substitution ideas, and it makes cooking a lot more accessible for somebody who doesn't necessarily cook a lot. I've done ones where if I'm making a new bread, which I don't do a lot of, so that's why I take pictures. I've taken pictures like, is this what the dough is supposed to look like? And it'll be like, oh no, that's still a little bit too gooey or whatever it is. Add a little bit more flour. And then I get to the consistency. It's like, now that's the consistency you want. And I was literally taking pictures as I was cooking. Or that one of the recommendations was, hey, take this like super maybe fancy French recipe, but make it Tuesday night friendly, right? Like what can I do to take this element or this type of recipe, but make it super easy to use? You can use AI as a sous chef as it relates to Rachel Ray. You need a 30-minute meal idea, go to your chat, go to your AI and just say, I have noodles, this in my pantry. You can even take a picture of it. Take a picture of 4 items. It'll make a recipe for you on those 4 items. You want to make it for 8 people versus 12 people. It can help you modify a recipe. If you have different type of ingredients that you want or don't want in it, you don't want mushrooms, you don't want something, right? The AI can truly help you walk through these recipes by taking a picture of the recipe. Like snap a photo in your cookbook, put it in the AI, say either this many people or I need it to be a certain way. Or I'm looking for inspiring ideas because my kids are at a beige phase and they only eat beige food. And I just want something that they might try that's kid friendly, right? Or grandkid friendly. So that's another way you can use AI on a personal. I have recently been using it more with the lens of a nutritionist. So if I want to make a recipe with less sugar, I will take a picture of the recipe. I did one like for my great aunt where I'm like, this is phenomenal, but it's a lot of sugar. Is there a way I can take some of the sugar out? So I took a picture of the recipe card and then asked ChatGPT to do it for me. If you're gluten-free, if you're vegan, if you're paleo, you can go to a restaurant and take a picture, because I've done this. I did the Whole30 challenge for like 30 days. And I would take pictures of any menu at any restaurant I went to and be like, what is Whole30 approved? And it'd be like, well, you don't have a lot of options here. But what you could do is get this item, ask them to take these 3 things off and ask for this on the side. So it's literally helping me kind of navigate. I could, again, I'm capable of reading menus, but it was just a really helpful tool. And my husband was like, there's no way. So I did it in front of him one day we were at some restaurant. He's like, wow, that really worked. I'm like, it did. So if somebody's trying to hold to certain nutrition or trying to build just something new into their diet, this is a great way to track it. One of my kids is sensitive to a certain type of food. So I was starting to track in ChatGPT, like, okay, if I am going to try to reintroduce it at some point in time, how much and what type of food? And I mean, it would get down to the 1/8 a teaspoon at this time, wait a day, and just, it's pretty incredible. It's not a nutritionist, it's not a doctor. So I want to call that out. It will sound very smart and very intelligent and make you think that you're speaking to the resident expert of all things food or nutrition, but just double check, fact check things. It's pretty good. I've appreciated a lot of the advice I've gotten, but also it's an AI. It's been trained, but it's not a human who can also kind of understand. So just some suggestions. Also, it's been great if you're trying to track throughout the day, like, man, I just need a pick me up, but I want it to have some protein in it. You can say, hey, I've already had this morning. I'm planning on this for dinner. What's a good suggestion for lunch? I'm on the go. I'm on the run. I'm running to a client meeting. What can I build in? What's a quick grab and go? I've done it like I'm pulling into Costco. What are the top 7 items I should get, like for me and my kids based on this type of health parameter? And it's like, oh, your top 7 takeaways for Costco are XYZ. So again, just kind of building it into your day-to-day, being curious to see what it'll say. Let's see here. Personal trainer. So Richard Simmons, Billy Blanks Tybo, P90X. Now you have ChatGPT. So we've gone through this. I guess Suzanne, I could have done a couple others, but those are kind of some fun ones. But you can prompt your AI now. I'm recovering from knee surgery. I have 12 minutes. I can't do high impact jumps and I want to strengthen my core. And it will give you ideas on exactly what you can do. Prompt 2, I have a hip injury from running, which makes it difficult for me to do certain types of Pilates or core exercises. What are some modifications? I don't have this one on here, but if you're into yoga and you want to I know a lady in town who just recently did a hot cocoa and hot cocoa and fireside yoga. But she did her flow. She went to ChatGPT to get ideas for her flow and even like a poem to go with her flow. And she used ChatGPT to kind of inspire some of those ideas. She was still the yoga instructor. She still facilitated the whole session, but she leveraged chat just to make it that much more intentional. Or, prompt 3, kind of busy mom, limited time, give me a 10 to 15 minute workout. I can do it at home. You can pick your energy level for the day. I'm low energy. I don't have a gym, but I want to focus on, let's say, mobility, right? So you can easily leverage AI as not specifically a personal trainer, but it's pretty darn close to get you going on some of those days. I'm just going to kind of rapid fire these guys. And if you want me to stop on different ones or you want to share a story, please do. But my hope today was just to give lots and lots of ideas to take away for how to be curious and how to learn that confidence. Some of you may have seen Love It or List It, Property Brothers, Fixer Upper. Also similar to fashion, for me, design is not one of my first languages. So I love the help of a decorating assistant, and I have now leveraged chat for that. For example, this is one of our properties. My husband had bought a new sound system and TV. And he was like, well, can you go get me an entertainment center? I'm like, I don't know what you want. Like, I don't know how to put this together. So I asked ChatGPT. I took a picture, the first picture you see there with the boxes and all the stuff under it. And then I asked him what color he wanted. He said, I want it black. So I said, ChatGPT, I'm looking for an entertainment center to fit this structure. I want it to be black. And it gave me like 3 ideas. The one on the bottom left is what my husband ultimately liked. That's not what it looks like with our setup, because I forgot to take that picture last night. But this is exactly what we ordered. And then I said, go shopping. And it took me to Best Buy's homepage where that particular entertainment center was at. And I clicked purchase. So we were in a car on a road trip. He wanted this thing done. He wanted me to order it. It would have taken me, I can't even tell you how long, either searching websites or going into a store. And in less than 4 minutes, it was look at pictures, make a decision, purchase it, put it in the cart, we're done. Then he had to build it. That was on him. But yeah, just gives you ideas. You can take pictures of blank walls and just say what type of picture would look good on this, what type of wall hanging. I want to warm the room up. What type of flowers go well in this room? Even if you have flowers in your room and they're dying, you can take a picture of those flowers and say, are my flowers going to survive? What's wrong with them? How can I potentially revive them? And it can give you ideas for that if you're trying to keep, your garden alive or you have a garden pest. It's a little bit outside of the decorating.
Alicia, can I jump in on this one?
Absolutely.
Just a quick example, and this is definitely a cost saver as well. My husband and I bought a home. It was a 1930s home. It needed a lot of love. And I took several pictures of the house, and then I generated multiple images with different colors on the house. So I went to the Benjamin Moore website. It prompted colors that it thought would look good with a south and west facing home. I changed the trim color multiple times. I even changed the door color. I changed the fixtures outside. I mean, I probably went through 100 different images until I landed on my favorite. And I can't tell you how much it saved us by not having to, first of all, have somebody paint the house, but of course, I don't know, having a landscape architect come and give us some ideas. We also did that with the landscaping itself, where I said, we are in a dry area. We have a lot of deer. Again, I gave chat our exposure, and it told me the exact shrubs that we should plant. It also terraced them in a way that was going to look really nice visually. And again, I've saved thousands not having to bring a landscape architect in. And this is just me feeding chat images and then asking it to give me different ideas, clickable links for the plants and the shrubs that I should buy, even if I should go with a warm white or a cool white. I can't tell you, it was remarkable and saved us thousands.
Thank you for sharing. Now I'm like, I just wrote that one down too. I'm gonna go outside and take a picture of the front of my house and be like, help. How would you landscape this? How would you clean it up? But yeah, like you said, yes, it does cost sometimes on the paid version, but I can tell you, even the other day, my washer threw an air code, and I was like, I don't even know. So I took a picture of the air code with ChatGPT. I asked it to give me some suggestions. It gave me, and it wasn't just like plug unplug, but there was like an entire reset sequence you had to put on your washer, like hold this button down and then do this and then turn the dial. It reset it and it fixed it. I would have spent couple $100, waiting for somebody to come out, fix my washer, do probably this exact same sequence. And that was probably like my ChatGPT subscription for the year. So again, you can use it for so many different things. I had a broken toilet, took a picture of it. Sorry, go ahead, Karen.
No, I don't mean to interrupt. I used it too a lot for Christmas. We've got a lot of grandchildren and, teenagers that we don't spend a lot of time with. And I used it to give me ideas for, kids and would describe them and the age. And it gave me lots of good ideas.
I love that.
That's helpful too.
I'm actually going to write that one down as well. My daughter did ask me the other day, she's like, can I use ChatGPT I want to get some Christmas ideas. I'm like, for yourself? She's like, yeah. I'm like, no, if you're not capable of knowing what you personally want for Christmas, then you don't deserve to get it for Christmas. That was my one time where I'm like, no, we don't use chat for that. But yeah, absolutely. I think that's a fantastic idea. Or those coworkers, right, that are hard to buy for and you don't know what to buy for. You can probably prompt it with, I'm looking for this range of cost. This is the style of the person or my coworker or my boss. And again, it'll give you ideas. And then you can say, let's go shopping, or just say, find these for me online. And it will take you or give you websites that you can then go to. Anyway, we kind of went through the AI as a decorator. These next few slides I'll go through quickly. There's a lot of words on here, not intended for us to go through these today. This is truly meant to be a reference piece. Like, come back to it if you're looking for inspiration someday, you want to think about it, or like, gosh, you mentioned something for moms. What was it? But for me personally, so I've done every single one of these. I've done recipe swaps for allergies and sensitivities. I've taken pictures of recipe cards and asked it to swap it out for me. I take it to the next level. I'll even say, here's the tools I have to work with. I have an Instapot and I have this type of food and I have this amount of time, or I have a Thermomix and I want to make a type of soup, but I want it to be crowd friendly without this. And it will create for me, or I want a recipe to be gluten free and make it in my Instapot. It will put all that together and give me a recipe. It's generally pretty good. I mean, there's a couple where you're like, it was slightly off on seasoning or what flavor, but man, it got me way closer than I would have ever gotten the first time alone. What's in my fridge dinner? Some people do this for fun. I think they mentioned this on one of the other calls too, where you just take a picture of what's in your fridge and ask it what to make for dinner tonight, and it creates a recipe for you. Itineraries, so daily trips, family trips. If you're going, I'm going to Mount Rushmore and I have X amount of kids and they're these ages and we're trying to think of stops along the way. It's going to be 4 days. You put in that prompt exactly where you want to be, and it can give you so many ideas down to restaurant suggestions along the way. Check it, make sure the restaurants are open, but it gives so many fantastic suggestions. My parents don't necessarily use AI a lot, but I told them that the other day for itinerary planning because they want to see all the national parks. And so they've started to use it for that. I'll say, okay, we're going to be on the road for this many weeks. We want to hit these national parks in this part of the country. What order should we do it in? What are some of the best sites to stay at? And they were kind of floored, quite frankly, on the power of that. Home organization ideas. I've done it with messy cabinets. So I was okay letting the AI know that my cabinets are messy. So I like took a picture of a super messy cabinet. I'm, please help me organize this. It came back with, here's how you should structure it. And I said, okay, I live in a small community and these are like the only 2 stores I can shop from. It's like, okay, well, if you go to Family Dollar or Dollar Tree, buy these 3 types of buckets. I mean, it was so specific. And again, can I organize? Yes. Would I take the time to do that? Nope. And it took it off my plate. And I felt so much better after I spent the X amount of minutes just doing that quick organization. We talked about decorating, kids, so many ideas on kids. I should have done an entire slide on it. Kids, grandkids, education activities, lesson plans, quizzes, like I said, snowy day activities, rainy day activities. My daughter was struggling with a math problem the other night, and I just couldn't find a way to make it click for her. So not that I want her using AI, but I pulled it up on my phone and I said, hey, I took a picture of the problem she was trying to solve. It was a multiplication problem. I'm like, help me think from a 4th grade level visually how to describe this, what the steps are. And it walked through step by step in a manner that helped her. So she's like, oh, okay. And it kind of clicked for her. I don't want it doing the work for her, but if it was a helpful tool to help us bridge, that worked really well for our family. So again, lots of ideas for moms. We're going to kind of move past reflection questions because I want to make sure we have time to cover a lot of this. But entrepreneurs and business owners, or I have another one for corporate professionals, writing your bio, writing your summary, coding your website. I've used it to literally say, I would like to add a picture of such and such to my website. I use Square Page. I am not a coder. What is the code I need to put in? And it gives me the code and I copy it. I paste it into Square Page. I'm like, yes, awesome. That did what I wanted it to do. That would have taken me hours to teach myself or learn. Prepping for client meetings. This goes as far as in your car on the way there, asking the AI, I'm driving to such and such. This is the type of service or product I offer. Tell me about the ownership of the business. What are their value pillars and how can I best present my idea to them? And it kind of preps you before you even walk into the client meeting. To me, that's using your resources and it's using them well. Content development. Give me a 30, 60, 90-day marketing plan. I want it to have TikTok videos and I want it to have this type of social media. So anybody who's trying to build up a social media plan, they don't know what to put on social media, ask ChatGPT. I have a coffee roastery. I'm not sure what to post on social media this week. It'll give me lots of ideas. Business plan building, evaluating sales, self-led education. If there's some topic you want to learn about, you can say in 6 minutes a day for using free tools online for 20 days, I would like to learn more about fill in the blank. It will create a self-learning plan for you that you can follow along with. So lots of ideas there. corporate professionals, especially those who already use Copilot, but again, ChatGPT specific. It helps you write clearer emails. It can write a memo for you, take your talking points. If you have sat in a meeting and you wrote all your notes down, you take a picture of your notes, it summarizes them for you. You can say, create a summary email that's 2 paragraphs long to send out to everybody who attended this meeting. It creates that for you. It's just taking that off your plate. Or, hey, here's a really long email I got. I know there's probably 3 tasks embedded in here that I may have missed. Bullet point for me what those tasks are. Again, Copilot does this natively in Outlook, but you can use ChatGPT for that as well. From an HR perspective, drafting performance reviews, again, you still be careful what you share. Don't put specific employee names in there if you're using ChatGPT. But if you're just trying to think through what are some ways, especially if maybe it's a critique, where you can say, hey, help me figure out the best way to critique this individual, help encourage them to perform in a different way based on this set of facts that happened. And it can kind of help you prep for that. Let's see, civic, school, and charitable nonprofits. I've used it to draft grant requests. So you could even put in, one of them I just did, here's a picture of the Excel file with the items that I would like to request in this grant. This is the foundation. These are the values that we know we want to align with. This is my company branding and logo. Help me write the grant proposal. It wasn't perfect, but man, it got me 80% of the way there and saved me hours of basic blocking and tackling. Summarizing meeting notes, board discussions, a lot of them, again, native inside of Teams that you can transcribe and have it create summaries for you. Teams actually takes it a step further. If it's transcribed and you're late to a meeting, you can say to the AI, like, hey, what have I missed? If you're like 8 minutes late, that transcription will tell you like what you missed, which is pretty cool. But in, again, on Zoom, if you have it transcribed, take your notes, pop those into ChatGPT if you're comfortable with publicly sharing whatever that might be, and have it summarize those notes for you. Fundraising ideas, event themes for birthday parties. Oh my gosh, the list is endless. So just kind of walking through and just pausing here because there's so much. And if we had another couple hours, again, endless possibilities. The intent today was hopefully to inspire you to think about maybe one thing. But before we go, what if 1 or 2 people would want to share? Was there a use case that surprised you the most that you might be like, tonight or even after this call, I'm going to try that?
Yeah, this is Rebecca. I thought it was really interesting how you're taking pictures and utilizing it. I did have a few questions for you. Can you take a picture of your paper planner and have it plan your digital calendar? That's my first one. And then my second is around budgeting. I do a paper budget every month, but I was wondering how you leverage ChatGPT with that.
That's an excellent question. So first, I would always ask ChatGPT. You can ask it, say, I use a paper budget. I would like to actually take this to the next level. How can I use ChatGPT to help me with that? So you might be able to take a picture. Again, be aware of what you're sharing because it's publicly available information. But if you're comfortable sharing that, because I think you could take a picture and it will tell you like a summary. It'd say, here, let me summarize your key areas. You can ask it, where am I spending the most money on this budget? How do I want to trend this budget forward? I don't know if it can take it, and it can put it into an Excel, but you still have to kind of take it to that next level. But absolutely, I would ask Chat how to do it, and you can take a picture of it. Go back, your first question was on paper of what again? Sorry,
the calendar. Like if I plan on my calendar, but I typically just use my digital phone, but it's just something for me to get it all out, kind of do a brain dump.
So yes, you can. You can take a picture of your current calendar. It'll put it into a digital format that you'd still have to like copy and paste over. I actually have started to use the Skylight calendar, which essentially I can upload directly into from, I've used a different tool to get it from Chat to the Skylight calendar. But yes, you can. It'll get it into a format that you can copy and paste. It's not perfect yet. If you use Copilot, you actually can take it a step further within Copilot. But definitely ask ChatGPT how to best leverage that paper planner into a online tool. Yeah, go ahead, okay. Karen.
Yeah, and I would use Copilot if you're doing your budget. It's just a little bit, it's the only one approved by the financial industry to actually put numbers in. So I would feel more comfortable that you've got a little bit more protection if you're putting any of your personal financial statements or, numbers in there, even if you're not putting your name in there.
Exactly. So if you have Copilot for Excel, and you can do so much more with it, and then you can really talk about year-over-year trends, and it will analyze down to that. It'll clean up your messy data for you, so it's not a Copilot commercial, but if you're working in Excel, and especially if it's your enterprise version of Copilot, which is firewalled to that company where the data is not shared outside of it because it's within that tool.
Yeah, and you can tell it to go, I can tell it to go look at the past 4 presentations I did that are in this directory and create a new presentation that takes this spin on it. And it'll go back and read all your documents and then, pull something else together.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
And it creates really good PowerPoint presentations. You literally can prompt it and say, give me a presentation on XYZ, and it will create an entire presentation for you with graphics. But again, Chat doesn't have that as well. Like Chat can create some things for you, but truly, if you use PowerPoint a lot, Copilot has some fantastic PowerPoint options. Final things there, AI is generative and it can hallucinate. Make sure you check your sources. AI doesn't like to say, I don't know. So it'll make up something that sounds really, really good, and it might not be accurate. So it's good, but just make sure you're fact checking. It's not a storage tool. Like I said, if there's something that ChatGPT creates for you, an image, a file, save it down somewhere else because it won't save forever in ChatGPT. Let's find on AI agents. We're not going to get into that today, but definitely I've used it to help people create an AI agent on ChatGPT where they can take a picture of their receipt at the gas station and it will send it into an Excel file for them that tracks their expenses for their expense report. They don't want to pay for expense report software, so I help create an agent where they just take a picture of that receipt and it auto flows over into an Excel document for them. Lots you can do with agents. That is a call for another day. And the final thing I would say is somebody asked the other day, why would I use ChatGPT when I could just go to Google? And so I asked ChatGPT, and I liked the response. But basically it said, Google, think of it like you're in a reference library with millions of books around you, and you have to go in and still kind of sort through them, click on the different web links, read about it, skim it, compare it, go to the next link. It's kind of like self-serve searching. Think of ChatGPT or some of your AI agents as the reference librarian. So you're still going into the same library potentially, but they can take you right to the section of the books that you're looking for, maybe even explain it to you a little better. So Google's great, and Google, again, now has AI at the top anyway. But my final takeaway, I know we're at the time for leveling up, as I call it, go to advanced voice in ChatGPT. It's these 5 little bars down here at the bottom. It will talk, if you're AI ready, if you're a little hesitant, it's a little bit scary, but it will talk back and forth with you. So if you're driving in the car and you want to say, I can't remember who just mentioned I think it was Rebecca, but I do it all the time for brain dumping. Like if I've just left a meeting or if I'm driving somewhere for 30 minutes, I will open it up so I don't have to look at it. I don't have to dictate and read what it says back to me. I put it in advanced voice and it talks back and forth with me. I'm like, I'm just going to give you a 10-minute brain dump, everything on my mind related to these different businesses, blah, 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 blah. And it gets to the end, it says, great, I've summarized that for you. And I say, okay, help me understand what to prioritize first. And is there anything in this list that I can do on this car ride with you without using my hands? And I'll be like, yeah, you have these 3 emails. Why don't you let me draft them up for you? So I use advanced voice. I was grinding coffee the other day. So I was without my hands because I'm like grinding up coffee, asking it, oh yeah, it was right before Black Friday. I'm like, what should I do for Black Friday promotions? What would go well with coffee? And I was using it to brainstorm as I was physically working. I truly treated it like a coworker and a marketing assistant. So advanced voice to me is leveling it up. Use it as a drive home brain dump, ask it, what can I knock out? Talk through an email that you're about to send and it can help draft it for you. You might not know what to make for dinner and you're like 15 minutes from home. Here's what I think I have in my refrigerator. What are some quick ideas? So yeah. With that, I know, Jennifer, we are at time. I hope that this presentation helped make ChatGPT specifically more relevant, makes you curious. I'm excited to know, hopefully, what you guys go home and try after this. Don't want to be too long, but is there one person who'd be brave enough to share what they want to try tonight or this?
And in the chat, you've gotten lots of positive feedback. So
Fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, this has been awesome. You know what? I have a wall of windows and I'm in my head always wanting some type of window treatment. And I have no idea what would work for this particular wall. So I feel like in the course of this, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll ask Jett.
You should. And then you can even give it your budget and say, or I like these colors, but hey, I don't want a $3,000 window treatment. I want an X $100 one. And it can help for you too. Well, thank you all. I sincerely appreciate your time today. I want to be cognizant and respectful of your time. I'm happy to connect with anyone after this call with ideas or thoughts or kind of what's worked well, but hopefully you are inspired.
That'd be great. Thank you. This was amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
My sincere pleasure.
Thank you so much.
day and happy holiday season.
Yep. Well, everybody have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining.
All righty.
Happy
Bye-bye.
holidays.